a couple great folks from New Hampshire Technical Institute. I cannot say enough good things about NHTI, not only because one of my kids went through there and absolutely loves it and still involved with the education part of the school there, but we have Melanie, Martel, and Sue. I don't know if it's Diener. Diener. Sue and Melanie, what a team, what a combo. New Hampshire Technical Institute, it's our Bringing Back the Trades segment, but it's really talking about what they're doing on that campus. And it was last November, we had 4,000 young people there assembled. I've never seen this, 4,000 young people, excited, optimistic, hopeful. Mike Rowe was there. We had the governor, and we did my show there up above, and I just, wow, all eager to get into the trades and get a degree from your college. But Melanie, let's start with you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks for coming in.
It's good to be here. That was a tremendous event. And
Wasn't it?
Yeah, and it shows just one small part of all the things we do. I think we're a hidden gem.
Oh, I know you are. And you and the other community colleges are where the growth and demand are at. I mean, it's amazing the programs you're doing, the innovation you're doing, but you're in the living learning side, and you can introduce and talk with your friend Sue. First of all, how long have you both been with the school?
I've been there since 1985.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been there since 2009.
So this is my colleague, Sue Diener. She's a member of the English faculty and also a faculty advisor. So we have very intense advising at the community college, so our role is big there.
You know, you came into the studios, and one thing I saw was smiles on the faces of, and it just, I can tell my intuitive sense of me is that you like what you do, or you wouldn't be doing it.
I have the best job ever.
Isn't that nice to say?
I do.
I mean, honestly, in this sometimes crazy life, and everything's so instant and divisive and confusing and overwhelming, isn't it nice to be able to say you love what you do?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a mission.
Tell us what you do there.
So I'm also a faculty advisor, and I teach in the English department, and I primarily focus on students who are planning to apply to one of our health programs, which is our biggest area.
And that's growing. And Sue, you're in the English area as well.
Same thing.
But you're an advisor. You work with students.
Correct. And we do it one-on-one. So we have very intensive advising with students. We get to know them, their needs, their goals, and we try to help them achieve it.
Now, you don't have to get into any political stuff here. I'll do that. But I've said to your president, Patrick Tompkins, you have it right, yeah. I think our four-year universities also, which I've had kids go through, can learn from what you're doing. And I don't mean to say the UNH Durham, Plymouth State University I love, and Keene State, but I think they can learn at how you're doing it. Because what I love at the community college, and economics is driving a lot of this. I mean, we just had a group on your healthcare side on imaging, the director, and she was awesome last month. And in 2 years, and they even have a one-year program now for urgent care centers where you can read the images. But in 2 years or less, for $14,000 or less over 2 years, you're going to leave with a degree. And as she said, this blew my mind. What a testament to New Hampshire Technical Institute. Your commencement is come and gone, right?
Yes.
She said, one thing I'm blessed with, I guess, after our interview yesterday with Dr. Porter talking about memory. My memory's okay, I guess, thank God or goodness. She said there were 150 students in her program, and she's an advisor as well for the imaging, medical imaging.
Yes.
Listen, you might know this. She said before commencement, every one of her students already had lined up a full-time job.
That's right.
I don't think Dartmouth College, I don't think Yale, I don't think Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, I don't think any program the faculty advisor could say 100% of our students before they graduate have been hired.
Right.
I remember getting out of UVM, and we were sitting around for a while till my late mom said, you can't go out with your college and high school buddies every night and wake up with a headache. You got to get a job. Imagine before you even graduate. So, and again, tell me how you advise and work with students and what about the living and learning and how you create these clusters of friends.
Sure. So this is an old idea, and it's called a high-impact practice. And very simply, when we meet students, and we meet every single one, we deliberately schedule them in their classes together. And some of their classes are quite demanding, like anatomy and physiology.
I would have needed some help to get through that semester.
Right? So
Or sit next to the right person.
That's exactly. And this makes sure you do.
Yes, that's what we're doing, forcing them to sit together.
I'm just having flashbacks. Mom's gonna, Jack, why are you looking at Harriet's math paper? Oh, no, I was just looking at how well she writes. No, go ahead.
So exactly what your intuition is telling you. They look to the person next to them and they say, hey, you're also in my psychology class. And what you do on the homework? And all of a sudden they form this tight bond. And it turns out to be more powerful than anything else we can do.
Well, you think about it. These are relatively younger, although now they're adults coming into your programs. But it's a new world to them.
Right.
They're looking for peers. And it's like boot camp. The first thing you want to do is find someone else to go through it. And then all of a sudden you get a couple buddies, and it makes a lot of things more manageable. And
that's right. And also, many of the students that we see are first-generation college students, so they don't have the background to be able to navigate college. So when they can do it together, it's really helpful.
I think it's awesome. And I love the fact that you've been there. The change you've watched must be mind-boggling in terms of the growth of the community college system. And what you're still doing there, you must be proud.
Tremendous. And the nice thing about the community college is it's nimble enough to adapt to what the employment needs are, to what the 4 years require, to use different formats and schedules of classes as students sort of make their needs known.
Again, please forgive me, but we're preaching to the same set of music or choir here. It's what education should be. It should be nimble. It should be innovative. I wouldn't last a month and my late dad, the Marine, went to Harvard, so I can say this, and Harvard's been in the news. I won't get into all this, but in the faculty, I'd be out in a month. I'd be fired or told not to come back because I'm just so out of the box. I don't want to be told why you can't get something fixed. And I've had too many friends who've taught at college and said, Jack, you wouldn't do well there because they just tell you why you can't do your idea or why we can't do it. But I love the fact that an employer can come and meet with you, for example, or one of your advisors and say, this is what we're looking for. And in the next year or two, if there's any students who are appropriate or programs that you're doing, or if we can be helpful. But Patrick, your president's told me constantly there's this collaborative relationship with employers. I mean, that's what it should be, right? That's how we get young people to want to stay and work here.
That's right.
We want them to stay in New Hampshire.
I know.
Yeah,
if they can afford a home, that's why we talk bringing back the trades. That's a different story.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But Patrick and all the department chairs and so many members of our community are out there in the community. They're completely involved with the business community.
And your growth. I mean, your demand for new students coming in. You've seen it, right?
Yes.
You're busy, right?
Yes.
Yes. We're definitely busy.
You were going to say something, Sue. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just thinking that one of the other things NHTI has is the residence halls. So, even people from other areas of the state can come to NHTI and live there. And our learning community is also going to have a living component where they can live in the res halls together and take the classes together.
And that means they can study together, collaborate together, walk together, talk together. And we did have the housing folks on talking about that, which you don't think of a community college, full dorm. And we even had your athletic coaches on talking about the great sports there. We're going to sneak in a quick break. But again, Mike Rowe, I have to get back to him. I got a note recently from his side of things. He was talking about the he wants to come on and talk about these Ivy League endowments. If they want to give the money somewhere, or the federal funding, give it to the community college. But he was amazed at the energy level of New Hampshire. You know, he travels around the country working with young people to promote the trades, HVAC, high-tech manufacturing, all these things that have drifted away. And he's been a real good catalyst, and he was wonderful that week, and he keeps in touch. He said, and it was funny, Governor Ayotte was trying to get him to move to California to buy a home here, and he asked me about the Lakes region. But you're doing so much there correctly, and I just think it's a model. We're going to take a quick break, come back with our friends, New Hampshire Technical Institute, bringing back the trades in a moment. Another dynamic duo from New Hampshire Technical Institute. I can tell these two are trouble in a good way. Sue and Melanie, we've had some great combos of people coming in telling this story, and I've been saying it and I've said it with Chuck Lloyd, one of your leaders in the community college system, and your president, Patrick, that I think the future of our higher ed, it's no disrespect to academic turf and egos and faculty rooms. I love UNH Durham. It's a beautiful resource. It's our flagship, they call it, all the research, all the good stuff. Plymouth State University, Keene. But the future growth is really in our community college systems, and I think our stakeholders need to be cognizant of that, maybe lead with them, and then learn how they can be integrated into our four-year college programs. But tell us about the Learning Living, some of the stuff, Melanie, you wanted to elaborate, and how people can learn more.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that we're calling it Health Pathways, a living learning community, that not every student has to live in the res halls, but all of them will have access to this special programming there where they might have a study room with the model of the skeleton, or career speakers coming in talking about how to gain the best entree into healthcare positions. So there's going to be a lot of extras, a lot of value added for the students who do this. And
again, I don't think a lot of people even realize that you had dormitory residential options at New Hampshire Technical Institute right off 93 in Concord.
That's great. And it's very well supported idea at the college to have students living there and attending class. And there are a lot of other things. We have clubs and organizations, and there are a lot of activities for students living there and attending there.
And, again, I tend to be more of a rebel or maverick on things, but when you were talking, Sue, I just was thinking, even when I grew up north of Boston, Salem State College, or now probably Salem State University, was always looked upon as that community, that 2-year, sort of the, I don't know, step sister or brother of education, and people were looking at Northeastern or BU or BC or Harvard, and Mike Rowe says it best: community colleges should be a point of pride for a family. Hey, my kid is going to community college in New Hampshire in the Lakes region, or Seacoast at Great Bay, or Manchester and Nashua, and they're studying this, and they can pay their bills, and they already got a job, and I'm so proud. It shouldn't be like that. And I think it's changing. I think the economy and the reality.
Yes.
The millionaire next door, not that money's everything, is not the doctor and lawyer. Sometimes it's the HVAC owner.
That's
right.
correct.
It's the roofing company. It's the plumber. It's the person who went to get a degree in healthcare and they started a business. I mean, it's happening and it's affordable.
Right.
And I think there's more services and return on value, and I think it's amazing.
Thanks. And it's not just the traditional age students. We support the returning adults who said, hey, I think I'm ready to take some time for me now. I'm going to come back and try this. And we work really closely with them because they are even more anxious than the brand new students.
Do you have anyone like in their 40s or 50s?
All the time.
Oh, yes.
And I bet you
the
they're the most serious students, right?
They are. And they're the most afraid. And what happens is when you put them in a classroom, they elevate the whole level because they're working so hard.
Years after, not that long ago, I thought it was a joke at first, but I'll just say, I was invited to go to the U.S. Army War College as a student, civilian, at their national security seminar. So I took some time off to do it, and I was going to bed early. I was getting up early. I felt like I was 18 years old again. I was paying attention in class, our seminars. I mean, it was fascinating being at the War College. I mean, you're talking to generals and colonels talking about, cyberspace security with China. I mean, but I go to bed early. I was like, I can't wait till the class in the morning. And I was, versus UVM where, you're up till midnight, like, oh, I got a class tomorrow. Maybe I'll make it.
That's right.
Or you'd say to a couple buddies, have you been to class in a few weeks? No, I'm kidding.
Well, how great is it to have someone say, I never thought I could do this. I never thought I was a good student. And they knock it out of the park.
I just love what you're doing and the confidence and all right, so if someone wants to learn more about the living learning, I guess, and the advising,
Just
best way.
Email us, NHTI.edu. Give us a call. Numbers are right on the website. We connect with every student. We direct them to the person that can help them. And they can still join this Living Learning Health Pathways community.
And they can meet Melanie and Sue.
In person.
And the other thing, too, is adults out there, you're never too old to learn. I always will tell friends, if you get bored, read about someone named Winston Churchill, and hopefully they've heard of him. And read about his transition after being Prime Minister of Great Britain, fighting World War II. Some would argue bringing the Allies together that saved the world, but how he had to go through transition. Teddy Roosevelt, another big name. You got to keep learning. He didn't even know he could be an artist until he started painting. And he was in his, well, I'd say probably in his 50s. People didn't know they could write a book. They didn't know they could start something. I think people in their 60s and 70s need to realize you can still learn and get involved.
Totally.
Or teach. That's the
And
other
you
thing.
have a lot to offer.
Yeah, sometimes people in our audience moved here from another state. They're retired. They might have 28 years in healthcare
Right.
as a doctor, and they're like bored.
Yep.
And they don't want to cut the lawn and play golf every day. They might become a part-time adjunct professor if they go in and talk to your team.
That's
But
right.
Yep.
Your president's told me that.
And adults who are coming back can sort of dip a toe in. They want to take one class at night or one class online.
And plus, to be around the environment there and the energy and the younger folks and you folks, it's stimulating. So great stuff. Thank you again. The website
Thanks.
one last time.
NHTI.edu.
Well, thanks for coming in, and I even got to show you our Lionel Train book story. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.